guys, my name is Annie Hay and I'm gonna be a mama. There's a better way of saying that. And I'm gonna be a mama. And I'm gonna be a mama. I'm gonna be a mama. Be a mommy. Be a mommy. Be a mommy. Be a mama. Be a mama. Be a mama. I'm sure one of them will work. So you either clicked on this video because you think you're going to be getting some good advice, which you probably are, or you clicked on it thinking, what the hell does she know? You know what? I haven't raised children yet. I haven't gone through anything except for 31 weeks of pregnancy. So what the hell do I know? Anyways, welcome to all of you. So for today's video, I went onto my mom group and I asked them to give me some advice about a couple of topics. And I got a lot of contradicting advice, which is exactly what I expected and exactly what I wanted. So the following advice I'm about to give you are from real moms. The point is, the advice I'm about to share with you is advice that I have personally received. What I would like for you to do is to get a notepad and write down the advice I'm about to give you. Starting with epidurals. Write this down. You should get an epidural. It is way more comfortable and way more enjoyable to give birth. You can focus on the baby and not have to focus on the pain. And also, why choose to have pain when you can choose not to have pain? Now scratch that out and write, you shouldn't have an epidural because the anesthesiologist can place the needle in the wrong place, which can cause you to have an emergency C-section or give you long-term injuries or pain. But also scratch that because you should have an epidural because doctors usually know what they're doing. You have to get one anyways in case of C-section, and why choose to have pain when you can choose not to have pain? But scratch that again because you shouldn't have an epidural because while you're going through so much pain, you actually have the option of walking around and taking a bath and really trying to breathe through your contractions. It also slows down the process. But also scratch that because it speeds up the process. And why choose to have pain when you can choose not to have pain? Now what I would like for you to do is take that piece of paper that you just wrote all that stuff down, take it, tear it up and throw it in the trash. And then on another page, write down the words epidural with a dash and write, do whatever the hell you want. Now keep that page aside because you're going to use it a little bit later and start a brand new page for the next topic, which is choosing to have a C-section. Take note, you should opt for a C-section. Why? Because it's so scary having to push a baby out of your vagina. Chances are you're going to have a tear or an episiotomy. Who the hell wants that happening to them? But also go for a normal birth. It's the natural thing to do. With a C-section, your healing time takes a lot longer. But also, if you have a planned C-section and not an emergency C-section, your healing time is a lot quicker. But also, don't go for a C-section. Go for a normal or natural birth because a C-section is risky because doctors aren't perfect and they can make mistakes. It is a major abdominal surgery. Instead of that tiny little cut in your vagina, it is a gigantic cut on your belly. It can cause long-term damage. There are no actual benefits of choosing a C-section. But also, go for a C-section because then you're going to know the due date. Now, if you actually took note of this, once again, tear it up, throw it in the trash, go to that piece of paper that said epidural dash do whatever the hell you want and write choice C-section dash do whatever the hell you want. Bathing after giving normal birth. Normal or natural. By the way, if you don't know what the difference between the two are, normal birth is with the epidural and natural birth is without the epidural, without pain relief. Should we bath or should we not bath after a normal or natural birth? You should not bath after an epidural for 6 weeks. Only shower and do not fiddle down there. Remember about the episiotomy? You do not want to fiddle down there. But also, you know what? Take a bath. What's it gonna hurt? In fact, it's gonna be so good for you. It's gonna be your best friend because it's gonna make you feel human again. But don't do it. At least not for 30 hours because it could cause an infection. But also, you can do it right away as long as you bath in coarse salt and not soapy water. Now, instead of just doing whatever the hell you want, I would suggest ask your gynae what he suggests because this is not just something that moms disagree on. This is something that even obstetricians and nurses and midwives disagree on. So I would suggest ask the person you've trusted to take your baby out and trust what he has to say. Let's move on to breastfeeding. You should most definitely breastfeed your baby instead of bottle feed. It starts off being the hardest thing you ever have to do, but it gets easier like overnight. After 2 months, it gets easier overnight. It is the best thing to do for your infant because it gives you the nutrition that formula feeding cannot give you. It changes and adapts to your baby's needs. It's free and natural and it creates a bond between you and your baby. But also, if you don't wanna, don't go for breastfeeding. It's very hard and it's a lot of effort. It's so inconvenient to have to try and latch a baby to your boob when you can just go and make some milk and your husband can also help. Some people can't produce milk or produce too little milk. I'm gonna pause right there. everybody is made differently. There are some people that can't produce milk or produce too little milk. Let me just tell you what advice I have gotten on that specific topic. Just because it is possible to not have milk or have too little milk, don't think that you are that person if your milk doesn't come in immediately. Sometimes it takes its time. It takes its time. Alright, and play. The baby might have reasons why it can't, like a tongue tie. If baby has a tongue tie, you anyways have to pump the milk out and then give it to the baby later in a bottle. So you kind of miss the whole point of the bond, and the fact that the milk adapts and changes to the baby, you anyways miss that whole point if you pump the baby. And then it's just so freaking uncomfortable having a machine suck you dry. It's also very stressful not to know how much milk you're giving your baby. With this advice, almost every single mom that gave me advice on this topic also wrote down one simple piece of advice that gives everybody the benefit. Fed is best. Fed is best, which means that feeding your baby is the best option. Whether you feed them breastfeeding or feed them formula feeding, feeding your baby is the best option. Also the only option. Do not go without feeding your baby. If you don't feed your baby, then you know what, never mind. So do whatever the hell you want. Fed is best. Last topic, we're going to move on to co-sleeping. Now, before I begin with that one, I was under the impression that co-sleeping means that you either have a co-sleeper next to you, a bassinet, a cot, or even the bed lying on the baby. The baby lying in your bed. The point is the baby's in the same room as you and pretty accessible. But the moms who gave advice on this topic all took it as bed sharing, which means the baby sleeps in the bed with you. So the advice I'm about to give you is more about bed sharing than just the idea of the baby sleeping in the room with you in an easy accessible place. You should not co-sleep because it's so risky. You could roll over onto the baby. The blankets that are on your bed that are keeping you warm could suffocate your baby, and you could also lose sleep because you're always going to be checking or feeling if the baby's breathing. But also you should do it because you can sleep easy knowing that you can check and feel if the baby's sleeping, is breathing. It makes breastfeeding so much easier. There are also statistics that show breastfeeding mothers don't tend to roll over onto their babies. Also, you can always transition later, but you're basically spoiling your child and teaching it to become accustomed to it. If you don't do it, you can teach your baby early enough to sleep on its own. If you swaddle the baby tight enough, you can avoid it being fussy and thinking it needs to co-sleep. But also, you know what? Your baby naturally wants to be with you. So it's going to be fussy anyways, and you're going to struggle to sleep. It's not worth difficult nights just sleep training your newborn baby. But also, at some point, you're going to want the baby out of your room, and you're going to have to go through that trouble anyways. Earlier is better. Anyways, once again, scratch all of that. Write down co-sleeping - do whatever the hell you want. So obviously you guys have picked up a pattern here. I've been receiving a lot of advice, which I appreciate a lot because it is actually insightful. Also, I could really go on a lot more about these topics, but you know, I don't want this to be a 3-hour long video. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. In the end, it is up to you to make the decision, and if you are lucky enough to have a husband or partner that's going through this with you, agree with each other on it. Do your research. Don't just go on the advice I gave you. Do your research and then agree with your partner about it. If you want to choose the one that's less risk, if you do your research, you're going to at some point find out that everything's got its risks, everything's got benefits, everything's got risks. If you are trying to find the least judged route, I'm here to assure you that no matter what you choose, you're going to be judged on it. Get rid of that anxiety. Get rid of that fear of being judged, because in the end, no matter what decision you make, somebody somewhere is going to disagree with it and is going to judge you on it. Really enjoy the fact that you get to make this decision, no matter what people think of you. Anyways, I hope you made it through this video. This is the first time I'm making a video that is actually relatable and shareable. So go ahead and share the video and support me, the soon-to-be mama. Also, subscribe to this channel if you like mama vids, because I'm going to be making more of these. If you want me to make a part 2 to this, comment below that you want me to make a part 2, because there's so much advice out there. Give me the topics you want me to talk about, because there are a lot more. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Okay, see you next week. Bye.